After the death of George Floyd in 2020, activists pushed for change in the Northampton Police Department. Recently, Northampton was granted $450,000 to fund a new department called the Division of Community Care. This department is being created to provide alternative responses to certain public safety-related calls. The funding was provided by the State Department of Public Health Equitable Approaches to Public Safety Grant Program.
So the Department of Community Care is something that came out of the city's exploration of an alternative response to a police response. So back in 2020, when George Floyd was murdered, and really, I feel like the country really sort of started to, the tide turned and people really started to have real conversations about what's appropriate for police interaction and alternative responses for things, particularly around mental health, where someone doesn't need a police response, and sometimes a police response had tragic consequences, or has really aggravated a situation when it didn't need to. So we created the Northampton Policing Review Commission, former Mayor Narkowitz, and I did, as I was then the council president. And we brought together this commission who looked at this question, and their recommendation was a Department of Community Care, something like what we're building.
When I think about it, the role of the community responder, they're not going to respond to calls where there's a threat of violence, or where a person may have a weapon, or a call where someone might harm themselves or harm another person. I do know what we're already good at is responding to people who have substance use issues. So we're going to continue that work and weave what we're already doing into the work of our community responders, help people with grief and loss, help people, when we need to do wellness checks, or help the people who are experiencing houselessness. Mediation and disputes would be another component where we would respond to. This is evolving. It's a process. But the number one most important thing that I want to make sure that we're fostering is the safety of our community members, those that we're responding to, those that are responding, and that we are really thinking about changing outcomes, that we're not just secular. We want to make sure that we are improving the quality of people that we're responding to.
I do think that Northampton is leading the way statewide. I'm bringing out a delegation of DPH officials to come meet in Northampton and Amherst, because I don't think work like this is happening in very many places. I know it isn't. So I'm pretty darn proud of the region. And Northampton's model is different than Amherst's model. And I do think there's a lot to learn and grow with. And the state has really both an opportunity and a responsibility to fund it.
Thanks for watching, and see you next week.